Namaste. I'm Nikita. Thank you so much for signing up for my Manifestation e-course. I'm so happy that you're here with me on this journey to learn about manifestation. I absolutely love this subject. And do you know that I've been using manifestation all my life? I would say for the last 4 decades. And yet I only came across the word just a few years ago. How is that possible? Because I was unknowingly manifesting, yet I didn't know why or how or even what I was doing, what the process was. As a child, people used to tell me that I was very lucky. So they would always say, gosh, Nikita, how come you're such a lucky person? The reason being because I would always win everything. If I went to play bingo, I would win the top prize. If I entered a competition, I would always win. Also, when I went out in my teenage years, even adulthood, whenever I'd go into a restaurant, for some reason I would be offered something complimentary, or I would always be the lucky one out of my group of friends. And people used to say to me, what is your secret? And I didn't know. I just assumed that I was lucky. But actually, when I started hearing about the word manifestation, I started to break down the process behind it, and I realized that actually all this time, whereas I thought I was lucky, I wasn't. What was actually happening was a powerful subconscious process broken down into 5 steps. Now, I've broken these 5 steps down for you, and I'm so excited to share them with you because I want you to have the formula that I've been using subconsciously for, as I say, almost 4 decades now. So let's get started. In order to get the most out of this e-course, it's better if you can be in a place which is quiet and without any distractions. So if you know that you've got some sounds going on in the background or people might come into your room, pause the video now and come back to it at another time when you're really able to focus and take it in. What I'm going to share with you is not just logical level, information. It's knowledge, it's wisdom. And so to really get the most out of it, it's better if you're in a quiet place. Also, have a pen and paper to hand. Again, it's not information, but it is valuable knowledge. So if you can try as much as you can to not just write things down as we go along, but really try to absorb the energy from which I'm sharing this with you, then you'll get the most out of it. I really want to see that whatever you decide to manifest comes to reality, and it really can if you follow my 5-step process. Since I broke down these 5 steps for myself and also for my clients, what I've noticed is my manifestation has become much quicker. So I'm much more aware now. For example, I will say to myself, oh, I really want to get an orange jumper, for example. And then what will happen is I'll go into a shop, and right there at the front of the shop, it's hanging up a beautiful orange jumper. That's what happened in this case. So it's about being able to use the tools to be able to get whatever it is you desire. Now, that was a very simple example, the jumper. It might be something big that you desire. Like even when I wanted to manifest my house, I went through this 5-step process. And that is exactly what I'm going to teach you. I don't hold back. A lot of coaches, a lot of speakers, when they give information or knowledge, they hold certain things back because they want you to then pay for their program to be able to get the rest of it. I wholeheartedly give everything that I have, everything that I know, have learned and have acquired through many, many years of soul searching. I wholeheartedly give it to you. So please receive it with grace and justify it by making the time and space to really learn and absorb this the best you can. So let's start with step 1. Step 1 is probably, I would say, the most challenging of them all. And this is where people get stuck. When I work with clients one-to-one, and when I introduce them to step 1, they're like, whoa, I don't really know what to say now. And it's because step 1 is, what do you want? Okay, just let that land. Remember, we're not operating on the logical mind here. We really want to tap into that intuitive space. What do I want? So this is a really important question, because if you don't know what you want, you will manifest what you don't want. You'll manifest the wrong thing. So that's why when people say, oh, you know, I really want this, but I keep getting this, it's because they're giving more energy and attention to the thing that they do not want. For example, if somebody wants to find a partner, they want a new relationship, they might say, I really want to meet a guy, but I don't want him to be too tall, and I don't want him to be too short, and I don't want him to live at home with his family. I don't want this, I don't want that. So actually what we're doing is bringing too much attention and energy. Everything's about energy in manifestation. It's not a kind of manipulating woo-woo thing. It's like I say, it's a real formula. And actually, if you want to look into the science behind it, I recommend that there are books available. I can add them in the notes section of this video so that you can refer to them, and really looking at the neuroscience behind manifestation. So it's becoming widely accepted now. There are scientists that agree that whatever we send out energetically, that's what comes back to us. So the very first step is, what do I want? And I really want you to sit with this and make sure you answer this from your intuitive mind, the higher self. You've probably seen my other videos where I talk a lot about the lower self and higher self. If you haven't, please do check those out, because a lot of this is going to make more sense if you understand these two states of mind that we're operating from at any given time. So the lower self is a bit like a child. It's going to say, I want this, I want that, just for the sake of it. Just like when a child goes into a supermarket, they're like, Mum, I want that. You know, they don't even know actually what they're pointing at. They just point to something. It's the same thing. The lower mind is going to say that they want whatever, but it's very temporary. And that's why we wake up maybe a few days later, a few weeks later, and think, actually, no, I don't want that. It's because it's just that momentary thing, and that's coming from the lower mind. If it's coming from the higher self knows exactly what you want, but not only what you want, what you need to be your best self in this life. The higher self wants you to show up and be the best version of you. It wants you to be zen, it wants you to be authentic, it wants you to just be in alignment, so that when you're zen, authentic and in alignment, you're able to then contribute to the world, and you'll be able to share that energy with the rest of whoever it is that you interact with. It's the people you live with, it's the people you work with, whoever you meet on a regular basis, you share that energy with them. So your higher self knows what's best for you. Now, one of the myths here is that if your higher self's asking for something, then it shouldn't be materialistic. So the limiting belief here is, my higher self should not have any desires. This is a very big myth, and I get judgment a lot in my industry. People saying, oh, you can't be very spiritual because you have a designer handbag, or because you drive a nice car, or you live in a big house. And actually, we need to eliminate that myth, because this talk is not about spirituality, it's about manifestation, but I'll just touch on it and perhaps make another video about it. Spirituality, according to the Buddhist philosophy, is to renounce all possessions and all worldly desires. So that's where that belief has come from. But actually, if you look at Hinduism and many, many other philosophies, the actual relationship that you have with the materialistic things is important. So it's not about what you have, it's the relationship you have and the attachment that you have. So if you have materialistic things like a designer handbag or like nice expensive perfume, and you are really attached to those things, like those things are determining your self-worth, that's when that's not a higher self thing. Like, that's very much an ego thing. But if it's your higher self saying, do you know what, in order for me to show up in spaces and to feel my very best and to look my best and to be amongst people in this vibe, I need to wear this kind of perfume, I need to wear this, I need to, not that you need to, but you want to, that's all. And if you don't have it on that day, say for example, your perfume smashes or your top gets ruined in the wash, it's okay, you can wear another one. So there's no attachment to your things, your possessions. So that's the myth that I wanted to eliminate, just in case any of you are thinking, oh, well, I shouldn't want anything. Yes, you should want things. In fact, yes, that's why we're here. We're souls having a human experience. So we're here to enjoy things in life, nature, food, music, art. That's what we're here to enjoy, colours. We're here to enjoy all of our senses. That's why we've been given this opportunity to be in a human body. So therefore, I think embrace that, and just make sure that your desires are coming from the higher self. And how do you know? So lower self is going to ask for things based on ego, which is lack and fear. So it's going to say, for example, I need to have that handbag because I'm not enough if I don't have it. I'm going to look bad compared to others if I don't have it. If I don't have a nice car, I'm going to look like I'm not successful. If I don't have a detached house, then I'm going to look like... So it's more based on validation and lack and fear of judgment in that case. Whereas higher self will say, I just like to have it, thanks. That's it. It's simple as that. It just suits me, it suits my personality. And that's not saying you have to want those things that I just mentioned. They were only examples. So really tapping into your higher self and asking, what do I want? But more importantly, what do I need? What's really going to help me to be this next version of myself? I always say it's like upgrading your identity. So from where you are now to where you want to be, whatever that looks like for you. And this question one, step one, what do I want? So what do I want in order for me to be able to step into that identity? So I really want you to ponder on this question. It's very, very important. You might have a few things that you want, or you might just have one thing right now that's current for you. You might want to move house. It doesn't even need to be tangible. Like when I was working with a client the other day, I asked her this question and she straight away came out with the answer. And I knew it wasn't coming from her logical mind because she said it so confidently. And she said, I want freedom. Freedom's not tangible, but in her case, she can see freedom. She could feel freedom. And then we did this exercise where I asked her to close her eyes and say, what does freedom look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? Using all the senses. Remember I said we're sensory beings. We experience everything through our senses. So in her case, she was able to really feel what freedom felt like. So I want you to really tap into that deep part of yourself, the intuitive mind, and ask yourself, what do I want? You can write it down, you can do bullet points, spider diagram, however you prefer to do it, but we can't move on to the following steps unless you have completed this. If you need to watch this video again, feel free to do so. Please don't rush through this course. I promise you, if you do it slowly, thoroughly, carefully, it can be a game changer. This can change your life. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I know that it works. It's worked on me. It works on all my clients that I use it with. So please take your time, go through this, think about this question one, what do I want? And then I will see you in the next video. Thank you.